however, it appeared he was supposed to be ready to party on. Well, he wasn't. 2 days before Thanksgiving, he made the 1-mile journey to the grocery store, figuring he'd dodge the crowd. He'd figured wrong, and the store was packed with people finishing up the shopping for their holiday meal. The turkey supply in the meat freezer was running dangerously low, and half a dozen women and a lone man crowded around it like miners at the river's edge, searching for gold, each trying to snag the best bird from the selection that remained. A woman rolled past him with a mini mountain of food in her cart, a wailing toddler in the seat, and 2 kids dragging along behind her, one of them pointing to the chips aisle and whining. "I said no," she snapped. "We don't need chips." Nope. That woman needed a stiff drink. Stanley grabbed his pizza and some pumpkin ice cream and got in the checkout line. 2 men around his age stood in front of him talking. "They're out of black olives," said the first one. "I got green instead." The second man shook his head. "Your wife ain't gonna like that. Everyone knows you gotta have black olives at Thanksgiving." "I can't help it if there's none left on the shelves. Anyway, the only one who eats 'em is her brother, and the loser can suck it up and do without." Yep, family togetherness. Stanley wasn't going to miss that. He'd miss being with Carol, though. He missed her every day. Her absence was an ache that never left him, and resentment kept it ever fresh. They'd reached what was often referred to as the golden circle, that time in life when you had enough money to travel and enjoy yourself, when your health was still good and you could carry your own luggage. They'd enjoyed traveling and had planned on doing so much more together, taking a world cruise, renting a beach house in California for a summer, even going deep-sea fishing in Mexico. Their golden years were going to be great. Those golden years turned to brass the day she died. She didn't even die of cancer or a stroke or something he could have accepted. She was killed in a car accident. A drunk driver in a truck had done her in and walked away with nothing more than some bruises from his airbag. It wasn't right, and it wasn't fair. And Stanley didn't really have anything to be thankful about. He didn't like Thanksgiving. There would be worse to follow. After Thanksgiving, it would be Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, you name it. All that happy would finally get tied up in a big Happy New Year bow, as if buying a new calendar magically made everything better. Well, it didn't. Stanley spent his Thanksgiving day in lonely splendor, watching football on TV and eating his pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Worked for him. He ate 2/3 of it before deciding he should pace himself. Gotta save room for dessert. Pumpkin ice cream. Just as good as the traditional pie and whipped cream, and it didn't come with any irritating in-laws. Ice cream was the food of the gods. After his pizza, he pulled out a large bowl, filled it, and dug in. When they got older, Carol had turned into the ice cream police, limiting his consumption. She'd pat his belly and say, "Now, manly Stanley, too much of that and you'll end up looking like a big fat snowman. Plus, you'll clog your arteries, and that's not good. I don't want to risk losing you." Ironic. He'd wound up losing her instead. Between all the ice cream and the beer he'd been consuming, with no one to police him, he was starting to look a little like Frosty the Snowman, before he melted. But who cared? He got himself a second bowl of ice cream. He topped it off with a couple of beers and a movie, along with some store-bought cookies. There you go. Happy Thanksgiving. For a while, anyway. Until everything got together in his stomach and began to misbehave. He shouldn't have eaten so much, especially the pizza. He really couldn't do spicy now that he was older. Telling everyone down there that all would soon be well, he took a couple of antacids. No one down there was listening, and all that food had its own Turkey Day football game still going in his gut when he went to bed. He tossed and turned and groaned until finally he fell into